Raise a glass, let the worry slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for today. There's Troy laughing with his gin and a grin, telling stories about where he's been. Boomer's got whiskey, he's loosening his tie, chasing dreams under a midday sky. The bartender knows us, he's mixing with flair. Every sip's a moment we're happy to share. Liquid lunch, pour it smooth, let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass, let the worry slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for a day. The clock don't matter, we're lost in the vibe. Jazz in the air, feel the soul come alive. From martinis to bourbon, we're riding the wave. Stealing this hour, it's the freedom we crave. The sun's still shining, but we're in our zone. This bar's our shelter, our temporary home. One more round before the world calls us back. Savor the moment, keep the blues in the rack. We'll laugh and we'll toast till the afternoon fades. Memories made in these liquid escapades. Liquid lunch, pour it smooth, let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass, let the worry slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for today. So here's to the daylight, the drinks and the fun. Our liquid lunch, till the next one comes. With a wink and a smile, we'll be back real soon. Chasing that jazz under the high noon.
Salut and happy weekend eve. Yes, it is the day before the weekend's actual kickoff, and it's a day to be thankful. At least it is here. I hope all of you have something to be thankful for. I'd love to hear about it in the chat. I'm going to start out as I always do, being thankful for each and every one of you. Starting with the first person I saw that got a comment in, Big Al of Big Al Presents, who says, Happy Thankful Thursday, Liquid Lunchers. Have a great show, Troy. Thank you very much, my friend. Super appreciate that. Netter calls me the love of her life and asks all of you to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, become a member, gift a membership if you are feeling particularly generous. Yes, that would be an incredibly helpful way to not only elicit my thanks, but to keep the show going. Geek Flag with Nate knows says like, share, subscribe, comment, become a member, and if you were going to give a super chat of $5 or more, why not gift a membership instead and make our family grow? Yes, please do all those things. Real Wag Nation Gaming recap is thankful that he was able to have me save some money by watching Tron Ares with him and not paying for any kind of subscription. Yes, that would have been money wasted. It was much more enjoyable hanging out with you, Wade, but the movie was not something I would have chosen for myself. It was meh. It was meh. And there's probably some other movies I would rather be watching. Naturally, Netter is going into a meeting, so good luck to you and your in your meeting. Mark Melnikoff says, Mech pa, it is lunchtime. That clicking sound, if you is you liking, sharing, and becoming a member. Thankful for feeling much better today, and that the sharp has fallen at the dilithium mine. Interesting. I'll be interested to hear about that later on, I'm sure. Um, Hail to Connie Clear, the bird woman of YouTube and Fluff Chip Productions. We have in the house Penny, Penny. Always good to see you. I super appreciate seeing you in the chat. Wilkie's Movies and Music. Corey will be hanging out with him after the stream tomorrow because that's what we do on Fridays. Let's see, who else have we here? Okay, I think we're caught up. So, don't know if you guys all follow me on socials, or you might have seen my community post about today's stream. I said, what is there to be thankful for today? Hopefully, the world is healing. Now, this isn't a certainty. This is an update on something we've been talking about. But again, I want to frame it in terms of I think that certain things are moving in the direction that they should be. Uh, Before we get to that, I want to say hello to Jonathan Conroy, who says, "Hey, all, smash the like button and enjoy the show." Yes, please do those things. And let me get to this. I got to share my screen, which I didn't do beforehand. I got to get better at that. There we go. So technically it was the day before yesterday, so it was actually Tuesday. Ted Sarandos, the CEO of Netflix, had to face a Senate hearing over the massive $72 billion Warner Brothers takeover deal. I told you that this was not going to be a simple thing. There wasn't going to be a rubber stamp from the Senate on this. What makes it even worse, and again, we've talked about the Ellison's relationship with the Trumps, which has gone back and forth, positive and negative in that regard. Um, uh, Sarandos has met with Trump as well. That's a different article we probably won't get to today. Um, but I've talked about antitrust and how that's what this is. This is a Senate hearing, very concerned about a possible merger that would give one company unfair market share and essentially hedge out everyone else. They'd be a one company community there. And it's not just the United States, I realize. Netflix is a global company now, and they have to deal with the same kind of antitrust scrutiny in every country they do business in. And if any one of them decides, no, this should not happen, um, they're either going to have to stop doing business with that country, or reconsider this whole deal to begin with. It is far from a certainty that this Netflix deal is going to go through, despite how they try to act like it will. If you saw, and the footage is out there, it's on YouTube. Uh, the, um, the questioning of Ted Sarandos. He was being asked some very uncomfortable questions by a number of senators, and his answers were mealy mouthed at best. And he feigned ignorance he couldn't possibly have and still be able to function in his role as a CEO of Netflix. Uh, Jonathan Conroy says Netflix should be a no-go for the Warner Brothers deal. They're very anti-physical media and one side of the aisle. Uh, yes, so that whole aspect of the one side of the aisle came up because I want to say it was Ted Cruz, but there was a number of senators, and I've kind of confused in my mind their questioning, but I thought it was Ted Cruz who said something about um, it kind of roped Ted Sarandos into kind of his own noose because he had said something about First Amendment and all opinions across the spectrum. You know, we want as many voices as possible. He goes, really? He goes, do you have any conservative shows on your show? Well, you know, we don't pick by specific political. We try to be apolitical. Oh, really? And then he lists a couple of liberal news shows that Netflix has, and he's like, you know, are those you know, and basically getting across. Oh, and by the way, did you see this poll of your employees? How many of them are liberal versus conservative? Yeah, 99% conservative, or excuse me, 99% liberal. And you're going to tell me your company doesn't have a bias? Really? Really? You seem to have a bias in your hiring process. It would seem that way because you don't end up with 99% self identifying liberal employees by pure chance. It doesn't work that way, you know? Hale, Wallace Lang, good to see you, my friend. Always good to see you. I'm not coming through clearly. Oh boy. Can I get any other feedback on how I sound? Because again, doing my best here with the chicken wire and baling ropes that I am working with here. Currently, over 125 countries have enacted uh, comp- uh, competition regimes. The European Union and the United States are considering the two pillars um, of global antitrust enforcement. If there is going to be a merger, I prefer that it would be between Paramount and Warner Brothers. Yeah, yeah, I agree. It's staticky. This is the problem we were having the other night. I can I can hear you clearly, but there is some reverb sounding like a little bit of a robotic background. How about that? Does that change anything? Testing one, two, three. I need some feedback here. Let me know if what I've just done has changed anything for you. Testing one, two, three. Testing one, two, three. This is why I need a producer in studio. I'm working on my own here, and you guys are the only monitor that I have. Please let me know. I know I got to wait almost a whole minute to get a response because you guys are on a 30-second delay. Sounds the same. Okay. Better or worse? Testing one, two, three. Testing one, two, three. Let me know if that helps any at all. While you do that, let me make sure that I am on the right microphone. See if this makes any. This could be my problem. Testing one, two. Is that better? Am I coming through clearly now? Testing one, two, three. Testing one, two. Testing. Let me know if it sounds any better now that I've switched microphone feeds. Testing one, two, three. While you guys are giving me feedback, I'm going to start reading into the article because then there, Jonathan Conroy says it's clear now. Okay. So let me blow this up. I don't need the crap on the side there. Netflix CEO Ted Sarandos is set to testify. Oh, let me take this down. At this point, as long as you can hear me at all, I just need to go with it because otherwise we'll just be spending an hour with me playing around with my mic.
is set to testify on Tuesday before a Senate panel scrutinizing. Thank you very much. $5 to tell me that I'm 5 by 5. I appreciate that. Scrutinize how the streaming giants proposed $72 billion acquisition of Warner Brothers Discovery would impact competition in the entertainment industry's streaming segment. See, this is what it comes down to. Congress has a responsibility under these antitrust laws to not only allow you to do what you want to do with your business, but to protect the other businesses that are out there, right? For the same reason that you're not supposed to be able to do insider trading on the stock market because it's not fair to everyone. If you know something about your company and you move large assets around based on knowing that your company is going to go up or down because of a decision you're about to make, that's illegal. And because it's unfair to everyone else trying to make good faith investments. It's the same thing about trying to do business. It's unfair to you don't have a free market system. In other words, we believe in a free market system. And the only way to have a free market system is not laissez-faire, where you don't have any regulations at all. It's the government monitoring and saying, we want you to have as much freedom as possible, but we want everybody to have that freedom as well. Thank you so much, Fletcher Williams, for stopping in. I appreciate it. You are good people. Okay. Sarandos will testify alongside Warner Brothers Chief Revenue Strategy Officer Bruce Campbell, really, as the executive faced questions over the competitive impact and the proposed merger before the Senate Judiciary Committee's subcommittee on antitrust, competition policies, and consumer rights. While Congress doesn't have authority to block or delay the merger, the hearing will afford lawmakers the opportunity to hear from the companies about how it would affect competition between streaming platforms as well as workers and consumers. Can Congress handle that much chin? No, probably not. If Netflix's bid for Warner Brothers Discovery succeeds, the streaming service would gain access to Warner Brothers Discovery's film and television studios, the HBO Max streaming service, as well as the content library that includes Game of Thrones, Harry Potter, as well as DC Comics superheroes, Batman and Superman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, the Justice League, all of that. Senator Mike Lee, Republican from Utah, who chairs the subcommittee holding the hearings, has been critical of the deal and has questioned whether Netflix intends to move forward with it or whether it wants to inhibit competition during what may be a lengthy antitrust review. This is the equivalent of a senator asking a rhetorical question. Just by raising the question, you get the answer that the senator wants to get across. The fact is, it doesn't matter what Netflix's intention is. The result is that it absolutely does directly inhibit competition. The deal is currently under review by the Department of Justice, while Paramount Skydance is pursuing a hostile bid after the Warner Brothers Discovery Board rejected its bid in favor of a Netflix offer. So, why is this the way it is? This is going to just have, I can just use the slider here. There we go. So Netflix last offer 81.55. So it's come up by 1.39. Oh wait, this is a ticker value. 2673 down by 0.29, and Paramount Skydance 10.54 down slightly 2.1. Paramount argues that it will have a more favorable path to regulatory approval. That's arguably true. Though Warner Brothers Discovery has noted the company would have to go into debt to finance the deal. Sources close to Netflix have noted that the acquisition of Warner Brothers Discovery by Paramount would also reduce the number of studios, lessening competition in the space. With everybody talking about, who would be better for this acquisition, very few people are talking about whether it's actually a good idea at all. I always say in matters of business and in politics and in many other things, cui bono, right? Who benefits? Who benefits from these acquisitions? Well, obviously Netflix would benefit if they could acquire Warner Brothers. Paramount would benefit if they could acquire Warner Brothers. But what about the general population? What about the consumer? You could say we would benefit more if it went to Paramount than if it went to Netflix, for a number of reasons that some of you have even mentioned here in the chat right now. But we'd actually benefit more if no deal went through, if Warner Brothers remained a separate entity. Who is pushing for this? It's David Zaslav. He is the one who stands to gain the most, no matter how or where Warner Brothers is sold. It's his idea, his baby, and this is why the Ellisons over at Paramount are telling the shareholders, you better pay attention and decide what's really best for you, because he is not making decisions based on what's best for you. He's making decisions based on what's best for him. So, let's see. I want to back up a little bit. If I were a rich man, deedle-deedle-diddle-diddle-diddle-dum, sorry, I had to, I would choose to buy Warner Brothers Discovery along with Paramount. Yeah, I agree with you on that. So they will spend time on this instead of legislating. Yeah. And honestly, this is what I would rather. Because honestly, when Congress isn't getting involved in other things, when there's a government shutdown, for example, things are actually better, to be honest. To get approval outside the U.S. because they're not the biggest game in town outside of the country. I'd like to see the numbers on that. Let's face it, Netflix has been the distribution model for a lot of the other streamers outside of the United States who don't have a presence outside the United States. So there's that. Hey, y'all, says Charlotte Nightstar. I'm so excited to be interviewed by you and Netter tonight. Love you all so much. Looking forward to hanging out with you, Charlotte. And we'll, you know what? As a matter of fact, I'll go a little bit early to the promos because she brings up exactly the perfect pivot point. So I'm going to go ahead and get to that. Give me 3 minutes and a couple odd seconds to see what's coming up, starting with Charlotte tonight. And we'll get back to this little nugget right after. Come on.
You are watching Liquid Lunch, streaming every weekday at noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. Let's sip together.
This week on Netter's Network, Netter catches up with Charlotte Nightstar, a fresh and upcoming songwriter, short story writer, novelist, poet, and podcaster based in the Pacific Northwest of the U.S. She's already coming out strong as a literary artist, and she still has a ways to go to further shine her personality and talent to the world, which she'll do on Netter's Network this Thursday at 9 Central, 10 Eastern.
This week on Saturday Night at the Movies, a narcissistic, self-centered weatherman finds himself in a time loop on Groundhog Day. Bill Murray and Andie MacDowell star in the 1993 romantic comedy classic Groundhog Day. This Saturday at 9 Central, 10 Eastern on Netter's Network Retro Cinema.
Every Sunday evening, Aged Boomer and Last Call with Troy Pacelli bring you the rundown of the week's geek news, or at least what they think is interesting. You may have heard about it elsewhere, but Boomer and Pacelli spin it like only two old geezers can. It's Geeky Geezers, every Sunday evening at 8 Central, 9 Eastern.
This week on Last Call Presents Doctor Who, the crew of the TARDIS find themselves and their ship acting very strangely indeed. Blame runs high for the ship's unusual behaviour, until the Doctor realises the TARDIS itself may be trying to warn them that they might be on the edge of destruction. This Tuesday at 11:30 p.m. Central, 12:30 Eastern.
This week on Live from Sparkwood and 21, after 3 weeks viewing the extended fan edit of Firewalk With Me combined with the missing pieces, the superfans will spend an episode doing a deep dive into this prequel film in relation to the 3 seasons of the show and the greater lore. Join us for some damn fine coffee and pie to die for, and good conversation. This Tuesday at 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern on Deleted Scenes and Affiliates.
This week on Last Call presents the return of Sherlock Holmes, believed dead after his fatal encounter with Professor Moriarty 3 years earlier. Sherlock Holmes returns to England to foil a plot to murder him by a former Moriarty gang member and assist Watson in solving a locked room murder from the empty house. This Tuesday at 9 Central, 10 Eastern on Last Call.
We now return to our liquid lunch.
Wallace Lang says, I want to buy DVDs of my favorite Warner Brothers movies and TV shows. I'm going to tell you, if things go the way they do, and they're trying to kill off the DVD market, make sure you stock up on blank DVDs and start making your own physical media. That's called fair use, my friends. Consult a copyright attorney, but you have a right to create your own physical media of product that you are purchasing and consuming. You are allowed to change the media for your own personal use. How old is Charlotte? I'll be there tonight. I'll let you take that up with her. If they admit that Netflix would have to go into debt to require this acquisition, the shareholders should say no. Yeah, shareholders. Unfortunately, shareholders tend to be dumb. They look at the business proposal that comes like a used car dealer trying to get you to buy a car. Oh, that sounds good. Oh, look at, I get a free keychain with this as well. Oh, that's great. Yeah, let me go ahead and do that. The administration also told Union Pacific and Norfolk Southern no to a merger. Thankful for that. Yeah, exactly. The best thing of all possible is that Warner Brothers remains a separate entity. Yeah, I'm not sure that is even a realistic possibility as long as David Zaslav is running things, but anything can happen. For example, in the UK, Netflix isn't the big player. It goes BBC, iPlayer, ITVX, Channel 4, Amazon Prime, then Netflix. Yeah, BBC is still holding on, but I think they're losing market share precipitously. So those numbers could be changing very soon. And I also think that that hierarchy that you lay out, Nate, is also a plausible reason why the UK might be more against it than for it. If they want to protect, for example, the BBC, they might not want to see any of the lower companies growing larger. So just a thought. And again, this is just trying to read tea leaves and so forth. Pops on Pop Culture says, he's celebrating 15 months of membership. That's over a year of membership. Thank you so much. You are such a wonderful supporter. I'm going to be hanging out with Pops later this afternoon. It's not being broadcast, but we will be recording an interview that you can check out on his channel. Since he is a member, you will find him linked in the description below so that you can follow him and all of the other members. And he goes so far as to gift a membership that went to Soundtracks with Birdman, Daniel Heron. Thank you so much for that, Pops. I super appreciate that. I will be with you in about a half hour. Is it just me, or is the Netflix Warner buyout getting more backlash than any of the Disney buyouts? Yes, it's not just you. It absolutely is. Lou Wasserman's Ghost over on the WDW Pro channel made a great point. He said when what's her name? That stupid senator that claims to be part Cherokee or whatever, Pocahontas. When that lefty loon is in agreement with the Trump administration that something is a bad deal, maybe you should kind of start looking at that. When both sides of the aisle come together against something, maybe there's something to that. Keep in mind that obviously conservatives are going to be against it. If you watch the question and answer session, you're going to see a lot of the mainstream outlets saying that conservatives were making this an ideological argument. Well, they have a right to raise that particular argument if you're going to give that much power to one company and allow them to silence a whole portion of our country and our ideology. But in addition to that, what this means for the industry, there are actors and directors and producers and gaffers and Foley artists and special effects artists and caterers and everybody that's in that, as set designers, all the people that are in Hollywood making movies happen. This is not good for them either. This is because they know it's not good for the business overall. Everyone who cares about physical media says this is a bad thing. Monopolies are just no bueno. Monopolies are to business what fascist regimes are to government. The only people that are happy with those are the people in charge. Everyone else suffers. And that's why we have antitrust laws. Oh yeah, Troy, speaking of gifted memberships, did that membership I gifted the other day ever show up? No, it did not. So again, please double check your, although I believe you did gift one the following day too. So please check and make sure that you weren't overcharged. I apologize about that. And did I not say hi to Samuel Proctor? I read his comment, but I may not have said hi to you earlier, Samuel. Thank you so much for being there. Jonathan Conroy gifted 5 memberships in December, only to have Google flag it so my card got declined. Is that what happened? Yeah. Yeah, that's the other problem, and that's another thing that comes from that relates to this topic of antitrust, is when you have someone like Google in charge of a platform as well as your payment method, right? They control whether or not you are able to transfer money to somebody. Just look at what was happening in Canada during the whole truckers strike and the debanking that was happening. That's dictatorial type stuff going on there. I had to talk to my bank and still had to wait a bit to regift. Well, I appreciate it, my friends. It seems like it's not enough that you are sacrificing to make a contribution to me. You also have to sacrifice your time and energy and stress level just to be able to make that financial transaction. And it's not fair to any of us. I've been listening, but that was my first comment today, Troy. So don't feel it. Okay, that's fair. I appreciate that. But yeah, so this is something overall that, but this is let me just go quick back to this real quick. This is another thing I'm concerned about. We got the Paramount water tower here, but what about the Warner Brothers tower? Who's going to own that? Where are the Warner Brothers and the Warner sister Dot going to live? That's a concern. But again, I saw the hearings, or at least I saw clips from the hearings yesterday, and I was feeling very positive about that. I felt that the right voices are getting the right message out there so that people can look at this and go, this looks like some real hinky stuff going on here. Now, I wish that all the voices that are against this merger could come together and do something constructive that way. If the Hollywood unions and the workers in Hollywood would come together and make some kind of an announcement, like, if this deal goes through, we're gonna go on strike. We're gonna not work for Netflix. We won't work for Warner Brothers. Something, I don't know. I don't think they have the spines to do something like that, because let's face it, they need to work, so they'll take any job they can get. I could make the analogy to the oldest profession, but you guys know how that goes. They don't have the courage to do that, but that's the kind of thing that it would take, would be to buckle down and say, look, the rationale is, if this happens, it's going to affect my job in the future anyway. I may not be able to work. They're going to start, narrowing the revenue stream. There won't be physical media. It won't be released in theaters. We're all going to lose money, and they're going to start compensating more and more with AI. So I'm still going to lose my job. Maybe I should just not ever take a job with Netflix. It'll be the same as if the merger goes through and I don't get to work anyway. Let's see. Sorry, I was going to bring up a comment and it jumped on me. I know many people that enjoy physical media buying the Warner Brothers, both movie series and music. But here's the other thing about Warner Brothers. Double check what you're buying. and do a little research. There was a big kerfuffle over the past 5 years or so with DVDs that were produced for Warner Brothers by a specific production company, where the DVDs just in a couple of years started to deteriorate and rot. This affected Michael French from Retro Blasting, whose entire season, one of the seasons of The Adventures of Superman, the the George Reeves series, was completely unplayable. So I was able to, let's just say I was able to help him replace that piece of physical media. But yeah, it's they had a and Warner Brothers handled it very poorly. There was no offers of compensation. You would just basically have to repurchase it. It was a bad deal. But at least the fact that Warner Brothers has had physical media available, that it has existed, is something. But and I encourage you to do that, not just with Warner Brothers and a known problem, but check your library. Double check those DVDs every now and again. Make sure that they're working, everything's functioning, and if they're not, find a way to replace them. That's part of the maintenance and upkeep of a collection like that. Wacko, Yakko, and Dot should have been evicted and made to live in Black and White Town after that disaster of a reboot. I didn't even see the reboot. I heard some terrible things about that. I'm sorry to say this, but isn't that about whether the law is followed or the right people voice their opinions? It's going to come down who gets paid the right amount of money in backroom deals. That's true until people start understanding that we, the people, have power. It is a matter of unifying of voices. When and I would, this was something that Dr. Seuss talked about back in the 70s, right? Horton Hears a Who, right? Where a whole population is about to be exterminated unless they can get their voices heard to let somebody know we're here, don't kill us. And there was one voice who said, it doesn't matter, there's nothing we could do. And it was literally that one voice that made all the difference. Now, generally, things don't come down that simple black and white, but the overall broad strokes of the concept absolutely do work. Sometimes, you're right, money does talk, but your something in the back room may not outweigh what happens if we completely lose this business because people stop giving us their money in unison. I will have paid to ensure a consolidation of an empty bag, I hope that Senator Ted Cruz and the Hollywood unions would agree to halt any merger at all. I'd like to see that happen. Yeah, no, I knew you meant Yakko. They can't afford to do anything like that because the last two strikes crippled them too much, and they're talking about striking again. Yeah, and unfortunately, I called it at the time, and it's proven to be true. What they got in the last deal worked exactly to their detriment. It actually drove the business out of the country, which means even less work for them. And I got to be honest with you, their continued, pushing of political ideology is not helping them at all because they are losing the public opinion. They don't have the support of the fans that they used to. So they don't have the clout that they need. I personally don't have a problem anymore with all these mergers, not because I'm for them per se, but it seems the steps are taking is getting them closer and closer to being too big to fail. There's no such thing as too big to fail. That is an absolute myth. If anything, the bigger you are, the harder you fall. And what's going to end up happening is eventually when you have one giant conglomerate company, and people stop going to movies, that whole company is going to just, the whole entertainment industry comes down as one. It's one big domino that falls. Sendai Ranger Donnie, good to see you, channel member. Troy and all, and happy Power Rangers SPD Day. Hope everyone is well. That's Space Patrol Delta. Yeah, you got to educate us because we don't always know all the lingo. I am worried about my DVDs of Justice League, the animated series. Start watching them. Watch and make sure that they're all good. Depending on how big your collection is, making a backup is always a good idea. I mean, it may seem excessive, but if you own a season of a show and you make a copy to watch that copy, and when that copy wears out, you still have the original, something to do. Disc rot is industry-wide, sad to say. Yeah. And it's because they're going cheap and they're going overseas, and they have these things being made in places that may not be all that clean, right? So you end up with some sort of a fungus, or you end up with something that starts growing on the plastic, instead of making these things in sterile conditions. You get what you pay for, I'm afraid. That's why tariffs are important. I love the original Animaniacs a little more than the revival, to be honest. I do too. I must admit, overall, Warner Brothers Discovery is a mixed bag for me, despite some aspects I adore. Likewise, the Paramount Skydance Corporation and Netflix. Yet, I'm down for Netflix buying Warner Brothers Discovery streaming studio assets, even though I don't want cinemas to be extinct. Well, studios will be extinct. Any properties they have, you will never be able to buy on DVD again. So just keep that in mind. They want to make sure that if you want to consume any Warner Brothers or Netflix related products, you have to subscribe to them, which means they literally have their hand in your pocket constantly. You know, just like tapping a syrup dispenser into you and just running it constantly. So that's what you're signing up for if this deal goes through. If you're okay with that, if you're okay with a permanent subscription to Netflix in order to continue to watch the shows you love on Warner Brothers, okay. Don't say I didn't warn you. The Whole Nation is Too Big to Fail was created, a whole notion was created by Barack Obama so he could help his corporate buddies. Yep. It's that whole. I remember that first coming about in the whole in the lead up to the Enron thing, right? And then when that kind of snapped, everyone started going, what happened to Too Big to Fail? You know. Greetings to our favorite bear, Snortopoopas Cuber. Good to see you, my friend. Always good to see you. That's exactly what I was meaning, Troy. Like the 2008 bankers saying it was too big to fail. Yes, that's what I was getting at. Hollywood's day in the sun is over, and I am here for it. The age of California dominating the film industry is over. It may not be over. They could change it, but I don't see them doing it. too much of the industry is leaving California. Too much of the industry is leaving the United States. So, but then again, everyone said manufacturing would never come back to the United States, and little by little, we're actually seeing some of it coming back to the United States. So, tired but okay. How are you? I'm not bad. The aches and pains and health issues are too small to really bother spending any airtime on. So I'm pretty thankful for that as well. Bugs Bunny and the other Looney Tunes characters are my absolute favorites. Yes. I thought they were much better before they started censoring them. And let's face it, they started censoring them in the 80s, where you couldn't see a gun being fired or an explosion happening. It all had to happen off camera. And it's gotten worse and worse since then. It really has been a slippery slope. Finally heard that thankfully should have my laptop back a bit later this afternoon. Been on a 10 plus year old HP netbook that was slow when new for a few days. Okay, well, I hope that does work out for you, and I hope that you have an easy conversion. Because I know that could be a pain as well. Big Mikey was too big to fail, or just too big in all the wrong places. Yeah, Big Mike. Montgomery Ward's is gone. Sears is gone. Others are teetering towards oblivion. Yeah. It's actually starting to hit. Target. Target has pretty much signed its own death warrant. It's on a spiral downward. I had a rough day. I made enough vids for February, but I'll survive. You are one of the hardest working people in YouTube that I know of. Troy, you sweet summer child, California is dead right now. It's on life support. Stop right there and pay attention to what you just said, Nate. Is it dead or is it on life support? Because the two are mutually exclusive. If it's on life support, it's still alive. Mostly dead means still alive, and it can be turned around. It would take a very serious act of will, but reality has a tendency to scoff at you. Did anyone watch the Sweeney Muppet Show comeback? Sweeney Muppet Show comeback. I know that we had reported on the fact that they were going to be doing a new Muppet Show, but I thought that was what's his name, the pothead guy that made the Green Hornet movie. Not sure. The dilithium mines were thought to be too big to fail. Not so. Again, they're still on life support until they close until you no longer have a place to go to, Mark. They're still going. I think J.C. Penney's is on the way out. Yeah, I think you're right. Muppet Show made a comeback with The Quest. Okay, I'm still missing something here, Wade. I don't know what's going on with the Muppets, so I can't really speak to that. Oh, we are coming up on the hour, and I've got to get this done because I've got to get over to Pops. So I want to thank you guys all, as I do every day. Thankful that you choose to hang out with me on your lunchtime. You could be anywhere, but you've chosen to be here, and I can't express my appreciation more. So, you all have a wonderful rest of the day. Get ready for the weekend. I hope it's going to be wonderful for you. Take care of yourselves. I wish you the best of health. Stay hydrated, drink responsibly, and I'll see you all on the next one. Salute, my friends.
Goodbye. Hope to see you again real soon.
So here's to the daylight, the drinks and the fun, our liquid lunch, till the next one comes. With a wink and a smile, we'll be back real soon, chasing that jazz under the high